Hey, this is WW2 and welcome back to your Let's Play of Steel Panthers World War II. So, last time we pressed into the Russian front and taking Stalingrad, or at least helping and participating in the battle with a decisive victory as the result. And this time I'm actually going to play on North Africa. So map height I will actually change down back to 30 and 30. I was originally going to keep it at 40, but for now I think the original size would be much better, and because I'm in a little bit of a hurry. So we can actually expand our core, and what I'm going to be doing is buying a set of 3 mortars to support us with. So we're going to be fighting the USA inside Tunisia, and let's take a peek at the map. So let's see. River crossings, they control quite a bit of a narrow gully actually. This map works fairly inside our favor, so I think I'm actually going to set the turn length to 20 and keep it at such. And this is a night mission with 26 visibility, so then it isn't really a very good day. So what are we going to do about support and such? I'm going to buy 2 tanks really. 2 Panzers of the Panzer IV G type, so they're fairly hard-hitting vehicles, and they also have a decent amount of armor. And what else do we need? What else do we need? Well, I can see that they have one bridge here and another set of bridges here, and that's probably going to be very important in the long run. So we can buy some engineers, but it's going to cost us quite a bit, and we technically only need them for a little bit, just long enough to take out that bridge. So I'm going to see if there's anything cheaper that we can use to kind of take them out, and it doesn't look like there really is anything for that. But I want to stop the enemy pretty much at this little river crossing where the 2 bridges meet up with the roads. So I might actually buy some more armor. I'm gonna buy a set of studs, which are, well, they're stugs, but they have an HE cannon rather than a, say, excuse me, a mixture between heavy HE power and AP power, so I'm gonna buy 2 of those. And really, we don't need anything else, so I think I'm actually going to start it like that. And let's deploy HQ over here. Artillery observer is going to be fairly in the front. I'll put his car there. And once again, we're going to go for mainly the middle of the map, so it will be wise to assemble our forces as such. I'm going to put 1 squad down here, so then we can get over into this area easily, take those points in the north and press forward until the enemy's point. But most of the combat will be seen at the middle of the map, so I'm going to put 1 squad here, another squad here, and most of the mortars in the woods, so the enemy can't find them like that. This time I'm actually going to call in a preemptive bombardment just to hit the enemy where they might possibly be, like such. That's going to try to pin down everything inside those buildings and across the map here where they might have a small force. So as soon as I quit deployment, it'll drop those rounds. It costs us a little bit of ammunition, not a big problem though. So let's move forward. Our goal is ultimately to take this little crossing, and with our rapid advancement of our tanks, that will be very, very easy. Next up, we move the forward observer and get these MGs into a suitable position in which they can cover the majority of the area, which is what I want. Whoops. Good thing there's a redo button. Yeah, down here, there's 2 points, and there's this crossing. I'll probably assign a tank right there until my infantry can move up and presumably take over the role of watch guard. You know what they say, infantry occupies, artillery advances. And turns out there were some squads here. That obviously means that they will be devastated by my tanks up here on the ridge. I'm going to move this tank over here to the south, near the river, so that we can actually get some eyes on the southern area of that river. And let's continue moving forward. Now, river advancings are supposedly harder for the attacker, although in previous experience they've always been easier. Oops, I forgot to move the units in the top. Oh well. So anything that comes down that road is really just going to get hammered by my... Like, I don't really know how to pronounce that. Is that just STUH? S-T-U-H? And those are just going to be hitting anything on that flat ground, taking it out very easily. And looks like my guess was right. They did have some troops in the southern edge of the river, and that's what I really wanted to kind of take care of. I didn't want any of these troops to just kind of sneak up on me like that. Northern posts will be taken like such. MGs on the ridge, still providing overwatch. I can get them to shoot over here in a very fast manner like that, just to kind of sprinkle some bullets in general areas where I think the enemy may preside, which is obviously on the road and in the northern little forest area. Our tank actually deployed its smoke rounds, which isn't good. So I'm gonna move back just to make sure we don't actually get into any, you know, close assaults where we have the chance of losing our tank. And I'm gonna continue dropping these very heavy HE rounds. So if I were to take a look at this STUH unit, HE kill ratio of actually 11 compared to our Panzer G, which is only 5, so double of that, which means more casualties. Your bullets may hit the target, but sometimes they may not cause an actual casualty, so that's kind of another thing that you kind of have to watch out for. As long as I drop bullets onto them, they will retreat, and they will definitely not advance any further. And let's move our MGs up as well. There's no real point in keeping them inside the rear. Speed things up. Oh, they've actually incapacitated my tank in the south. They hit it on the side and it took out all 3 of its armaments. Nope, now they've taken it out. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, we are going to set up a little bit of a holdout here just to kind of repel anything that comes this way. And in the north, I will move our troops forward. So, I've covered most of what is happening inside the battle. The 2 plans have pretty much been gone over with. So, what this means is that I'm actually going to just pretty much come back later on. I'll do like a a rough cut or something, just so that most of the monotonous fighting right here just kind of fades, and later on we can watch some more interesting bits. So I will see you guys in a bit. This is turn 5, and I'll see you guys, I don't really know, in turn 7 or so. Alright, welcome back on turn 7, like I said. So, it looks like we've actually made contact inside the forest, where these buildings here in the south. In the middle of the map, the enemy has begun crossing. You can see that some of the troops moved north by a little bit, and obviously they put down a smoke barrage, which does some little to no use. So, we're just going to continue moving forward, and let's see if anything interesting happens in the next following turns. If not, I'll probably just, cut again to later on. See, the thing with the Americans is that they emphasize on using a lot of firepower, a lot of suppression on singular targets to shut them down, and allowing more specialized elements to just kind of move around. But the problem with them on this map is that they simply don't have enough mobility to get around those bridges, and that kind of leads them to fighting on such a little piece of terrain, and you can see that the mortar is hit down right there, so they'll be pretty much absolutely devastated there. It's really a matter of controlling the south and not allowing the infantry to move up onto my tanks very well. I'm kind of wondering if they have bazookas on these squads, and it looks like they don't, so we should be fairly safe unless they have the little, stealthy units around, which that might be a problem. But as long as we drop rounds onto them like such, I think we should be fine. And then the MG shoot. Well, let's continue. So later on, we're gonna have to capture the hexes with buildings on top of them, notably in the middle of the map. And I don't want to pretty much risk moving infantry into that hectic situation, so you can move vehicles into buildings. It's just that most likely what's going to happen is that the building collapses and then your tank is immobilized, which at the end of the day, it really isn't going to matter much if it's the end of the battle. So that's probably what I'm going to do with that lone house on the ridge on our side in the middle of the map. I really hate how I had to specify every single point rather than having to point at it, which would be so much easier. But then again, the game just doesn't support DirectX on the Windows Arrow mouse, and I don't really know why it does that. So sadly. And I'm going to continue putting smoke down here just so that they can run into my 1-hex ambushes, which are just absolutely devastating. Seem to have routed my MGs. Well, there's only one solution to that, and that is dropping artillery onto them. So one right there, one there, and one there. Actually, this one probably already had a... oh, never mind. No, I can't really change it, so I'm going to drop artillery fire just like that onto their location. That's going to hit them hard. So onwards. Yeah, that 50 cal, you can't see it, but I know it's in the furthermost house. Oh, there you can see it. But it's inside that house, and it's been devastating those MGs for a little bit. I haven't really figured out where it was until now. But yeah, the Americans have really good machine guns like that. In the classic version of the game, 50 caliber machine guns, they can go through vehicle plating, very thin vehicle plating, in real life. And so you could actually take down mini armored cars and stuff and such like that. In the original game, they kind of toned them down just for well, balance sake. In this, but that's just a little tidbit of information. And I can't have those little trace elements near my tanks like that. If they stay like that, they might eventually be able to move forward and actually direct assault my vehicles. Specifically, there's this bazooka team right here, which I do not want. There we go. That works. So now, the only question is whether or not our bottom line will hold. You can see that the enemy dropped some rather heavy shells onto us with the 105 battery. So I'm going to move our troops back into the forest. I know that there's going to be a second round of shots coming down. man oh man, is that some reactionary fireworks just everywhere. So I'm going to maneuver to their rear, and just to kind of give the AI a little bit of panic, where it's going to try to move his troops around, trying to recapture those flags, and that way I can try to ambush them again. And I'm not really sure if I should just kind of cut off right now and continue on later on, where you know, the turns of fighting has ended and there's some action going on. So I think I'm going to actually, well, cut it sooner or later and do another cut like that. Like, I don't really know. Leave a comment about how you want to watch this, whether you want to watch every single turn play out, or if you want me to kind of skip most of these boring just infantry fighting over each other and firing off their different weapons turns. Well, anyways, yeah, get back to me on that. That would be most appreciated. But for now, I'm gonna play the next turn or so to you and just kind of see if one of these tanks actually get destroyed or not. Because it looks like they're doing a pretty good job assaulting that Panzer IV with the 2 infantry squads. But hopefully, without a direct assault, they probably won't be able to take it down. I noticed that they eliminated one of the weapons on the tanks, which might be a little bit of a problem, but shouldn't be in the long run. It took out the coaxial MG, oh well. No big deal. I'm really surprised that the infantry continue to fire. I forgot to turn off the smoke dischargers, and this is what happens. The AI will automatically pretty much return fire with smoke dischargers, and sometimes it does things like this where there's really no chance of it being destroyed by the infantry squad, even though the AI thinks so. Great. Well, we're gonna drop some more artillery fire here. And I'm gonna move the target up here, and this one over here. That's gonna drop a whole world of hurt onto the American infantry. And we're gonna cap this flag. And we're gonna continue capping flags until they can't do anything about it. So next turn, and this tank will most likely be still standing, I would say. But when troops have the ready status, that means they have a good chance of conducting a close assault, and oh, there it goes. Now the question is whether or not they can get through the bottom with their infantry, and whether or not they can get through at the middle, past the stugs. Well, okay. I'm going to pretty much cut off again and just go to the next bit where something major happens. For now, all I'm going to do is really just keep up the pressure and continuing to eliminate whatever is really on the field on their side. So yeah. So I will see you guys in a little bit as I skip to the next part that isn't just really battle and more battle. Bye-bye. Hey, and welcome back. Well, in the last 2 turns, a lot has actually happened. Well, at the middle, it looks like we're going to probably lose. I'm going to try to continue pushing forward, and it looks like our Stugs have actually run out of HE ammunition. And that's going to be a major problem, because it pretty much turns them into giant, well, MG bunker things, right? So that's going to be our #1 problem, is controlling the middle, but we are assaulting the enemy in 1 hex assaults now at the top, so that'll be very devastating to them. And it looks like we're going to be most likely storming this little house right here and pretty much taking that. I'm going to put some smoke down and just kind of work our way around, put some blind fire there so that it adds up a little more. Well, in the bottom we have pretty much shattered what's left of the allied troops, which is alright. I mean, they're still fleeing and such, as you can see. There's still a little bit of a resistance here and there, which won't be really that big of a problem as long as we can control it. Oh, their morale is good though. They'll continue fighting for a little bit of a time. At the moment, I mean, both sides are really just equal, as long as the AI keeps on falling for these 1 hex ambushes. We're pretty much going to be fighting till the end of the match, which is, I believe, 20 turns. So, I don't really know at this rate. So, yeah, 20 turns. So, it might take a little while to just kind of grind these AI troops down by a bit. But we've won at bottoms, near the bottom of the map, which makes advances a little easier on it. It makes the push in the top and in middle a little less important. So hopefully we'll be able to swing along this ridge and take whatever is there like that and move this unit into the back of the enemy so then we can take whatever is there, those juicy victory hexes. And next turn, actually, we can continue kind of firing into mid. We're probably going to have to route additional forces or something over here. Or maybe their troops are actually all scattered. We have a view on this little portion from the forward observer to the bridge, and it looks like there isn't any infantry there. Maybe, like, one thing is that it's night, and secondly, most of the units I saw were up here, so I don't really know what's going on over there. I'm gonna drive forward and just to kind of see what's over here. Hopefully, taking out as much of the infantry as possible. Oh, it figures we can't actually shoot at that one. Oh well. Let's fast forward. Okay. There's still the issue of that single medium machine gun squad, which can do quite a little bit of damage, so we're gonna have to deal with that soon. If we want to get those 2 flags near mid under American control, we're gonna have to deal with that MG either way somehow. So I figured the best option would be to just kind of distract them like this, just to draw out the MG's fire. You can see that those 2 squads are putting a lot on it, and we can just continue to do this as such. putting more men here. And in the north, over here, we can actually climb down, hopefully, getting into places where we can finally assault that MG. Actually, probably the best option would be to just call some artillery on it. If we have, yeah, we still have a little bit of artillery. Two of our mortar sets are already empty, which kind of sucks. There we go. It looks like we've actually won this in terms of just troops, but I'm not really sure in the points. I mean, we lost 2 of our tanks, they lost a little bit of infantry, but I think they have the most flags right now. So after this turn, I'm going to skip to the end where it is going to be mainly just flag capturing and mopping up. So I will see you guys then. Well, ultimately we did win with a little, like roughly half of what the enemy had. So this is the end map, and what pretty much happened was that we did win against the few units that were actually there at mid. So I moved the Stugs up to the north and took on the rifle squad, but we lost one because visibility is poor, and when you're trying to move up there, you have a tendency to lose units. So over here we did devastate what was left of the main force that was coming at us, made of mostly infantry. You can see that only an MG and a half of a rifle squad is left. So ultimately that place was defended. We were able to claim one more flag here. I would have preferred capping all of this stuff near the USA HQ in the back, near the back of the town, which would have been a little better. But overall we did good. We lost 55 men inside that battle, so not too much. 3 armored fighting vehicles, which were not technically ours, which is alright. And then we lost 500 and 200 units, which is alright. So that is a, well, surprisingly, this is actually a draw, but I guess that is fairly, fair for that. We did win against them in points, but I guess the losses are, kind of like that. Ooh, a special battle. Well, we can have special battles like this, and sometimes they get the option to, you know, pretty much, what is the word I'm looking at? Can't remember now. But we can refuse, but in this case we can only continue. So that will be next time where we actually fight a defending mission. Well, I will see you guys later, and goodbye.